my God, that sucks. I love it.
All right, bro. What's up?
Nothing much. Still a little chilly from that ice bath. What's up with you?
Shivering a little?
I'm warming up.
Okay.
A little nippy.
You like to warm yourself up naturally, you were saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially after an ice bath.
Yeah, it does feel good. I feel like a lot of the energy gotten is from like the shivers and then getting yourself back to that homeostasis.
That flatline level. Yeah, you got to.
I struggle with it though. It's like a back and forth because I do like starting my day off with a shower. Like it feels good to like get clean, get dressed, and start your work day. But I don't like. First of all, I don't like just jumping straight into a hot shower, which is what I'll do sometimes, and I feel like I'm cheating. But I also don't want to jump into like a lukewarm or even a cold shower after the cold, because then it doesn't feel cold.
It's like normal water.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like if I get straight out of bed, take like a hot shower or anything, I'm kind of like lazy. My morning getting as productive. If I wake up, do an ice bath, and like, drastically for the next hour and a half, I'm like freezing. I feel like I'm good throughout the day. The next 2-3 hours, I'm golden.
You're ready to go.
Yeah. Very productive.
It's good. So yeah, you're on 75 hard right now.
Yeah, second time.
Second time through. What day is this?
23, maybe. I think it's 23.
Your Jordan day.
Yeah. Let me see. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. 23. Mm-hmm.
All right. So for those that don't know, what is 75 hard?
It's just staying disciplined, a workout program. It's not too much hard. It's just the inconvenience of doing it. So it's 2 45-minute workouts per day. You have to wait 3 hours in between. One must be outdoors. Drink a gallon of water a day. Hence me carrying a gallon all day. Read 10 pages of a book. No cheat meals. Stick to a diet like a routine, and just no alcohol. Oh, and a progress picture. So, I mean, you just kind of keep up and do it every day, and it just kind of, I'm like wired now. Like, as soon as I wake up, I'm like, knock out a workout, get it done. 3 hours later, bang, knock out another workout. Just, it's inconvenient when you have a busy day, though.
Yeah, and I honestly feel like for people that do like drink typically in life, I feel like 75 hard, like the hardest thing, or like the best thing I would say that really keeps people on track is the not drinking part.
100%. 100%. I mean, I wouldn't say I like tequila. I feel like it likes me sometimes, but I can go 75 days without it. I'll be good. Yeah.
Feel probably more clear-headed. So
the hardest part's the water.
You think so?
Oh, I know. So like getting a gallon in a day, it's different.
Work those kidneys.
Bad.
Yeah.
Real bad. Yeah.
Your pee is always clear. It's got to be.
Crystal clear. Yeah. It's like that.
All right. Let's back it up a little bit. So we'll go back before the first time you've done 75 hard, before Aptive. Where'd you grow up? Where are you from? Tell the people who don't know about Mason Burris. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Cool. So I was born in like a very small town outside of Charlotte, Concord area. I just say Concord because no one knows, but it's called Albemarle. So fields everywhere. Smells like cow crap everywhere you go. Like, I mean, it's just country town. But I lived there till about 3 years old. Parents got divorced. At that point, it was like me and my mom stayed in like literally a trailer. Like, I mean, it was just me and her, single mom. And then ran into my stepdad, met him, and they eventually moved to Raleigh. So when I was like 3.5, 4-ish, I moved to Raleigh, and I lived there until 17 years old, turning 18. So until I graduated high school in 2017. So yeah, I lived there like the Raleigh-ish area, and then moved out to like Wake Forest area. That's where I like grew up, made a lot of memories, made a lot of friends, and then after that I moved out to Wilmington. So I've been here. It's kind of like Cape Fear for a little bit. And then, now I'm here. So been kind of all over the main 3 parts, like North Carolina for sure.
Cool. Make sure this stays about a fist in front of your face. You can move it or shift yourself.
Gotcha.
Just make sure. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so born in Albemarle, whatever, however you say it.
Albemarle.
Alber.
We'll work on it.
Okay.
Or maybe not.
I don't need to. Born in Albemarle. You lived there until
3-ish.
3. Moved to Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that when your mom met your stepdad, or?
So my mom met my stepdad. I think I was a little man. Probably like 3.5, 4-ish. And it was out in like the Albemarle area. My stepdad, he's like a manager for Harris Teeter. So anyone that knocks Harris Teeter, choose food line, like cut that. But no, they ran into each other. And again, it was me and my mom, single mother raising me, just me and her, literally in a trailer. And we moved out to Raleigh. So I had kind of a cool opportunity. Went to middle school, elementary, high school, all that. And then it was like mainly Raleigh, like Creedmoor, Falls and Noose area, but then moved out towards Wake Forest, towards like me going to graduate high school.
Yeah. Well, that's a blessing, huh?
Yeah.
Because your stepdad's good, dude.
He's cool people.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not that good at cornhole though. Don't tell him I said that.
He would just beat you.
He would beat me every time. Yeah.
So yeah, I grew up in a nice area in Raleigh then. After your stint in the trailer.
Yeah.
Right? As a little man.
Cut like that. Yeah.
And you went to Heritage High School.
Sanderson first.
Sanderson.
Mm-hmm. So it's close to like Shelley Lake Park, Crabtree. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Went there for freshman year. That's when like started really getting into like football. Tried out lacrosse. It didn't really work as well, but that summer really started hitting it hard. We moved out to Wake Forest, started building a house. That's when I transferred to Heritage. So from then.
In Heritage, you played sports, right? You played football, lacrosse.
So I played football up to my sophomore year. Kind of gave up football. Lacrosse is like my main thing. Yeah, I did that till about junior year and had a little fallout with my coach. Didn't really play senior year, and I think the main reason why I didn't want to play as well, I didn't have that drive to me because, a lot of people, they could just go to school, do their thing and all that. I had to work. So, I wanted to drive. I wanted to get a car. I wanted to go pay for my phone. Like, there were things that I wanted whenever I was younger. And, I didn't really get the handout, quote unquote, speak to go, like, just get that stuff. So I had to go work for it.
Yeah, same here. Same deal with me. I played almost the exact same thing. I played football, baseball until I was in 8th grade. Football until freshman year. I broke a rib in my back during 8th grade. Ooh. And so I was like, yeah, football's not it.
How'd you do that? Someone like just cracked
There's a 270-pound 7th grader when I was in 8th grade. He went to, Westlake. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And so I was running back. I ran up the middle, ball right here, got stuffed. He fell on top of me on the ball, like on my chest, and it just cracked one of the ribs in my back when he landed on me. Nobody should be that big in 7th grade.
That's a beefy boy, even to this day. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody, probably ever should be that big, but yeah, then 7th grade for
well,
sure.
You were like little, probably too.
I was little.
Yeah.
You think? Yeah.
Tiny.
Still am. Yeah. No, but yeah, definitely not 270. Yeah.
That's beefy.
And then switched to basketball. Same thing. Really, I don't think. We can talk about that too, but I don't think I ever really, honestly, didn't really have that dog in me when I was in high school either. Like, I kind of found that through Aptive. I found like the edge through Aptive. But when I was in high school playing basketball, like I wish I had the mindset I have now back then when I was playing sports. Sure. You know what I mean? So
I agree with you. Yeah, same exact way. Like even in lacrosse and all that, it was just kind of like it was a fun sport. Like I wanted to play. I had some buddies on the team. Like, it just gave me something else to do other than sit around and like play video games when I was a kid. So like, I don't know, it definitely felt good. But yeah, until I started doing Aptive, like I didn't have that go-getter mentality to me. Yeah,
me neither. Yeah, just having fun. Okay, so you go to Heritage, you're playing sports, you're working all throughout your high school career. Same here. And then you moved to Wilmington. So did you move to Wilmington to go to Cape Fear to take classes, or?
Yeah, so okay. I'll explain that too. So graduated high school. I graduated in like the fall semester. So I like graduated a semester early. And when I graduated, I went straight into work. And at the time I was working, actually one of your spots you should go to, PDQ. It's a good chicken joint. But I worked there for like 2 years. And I was just putting in hours, honestly. But working like nonstop going into the spring. My parents were like, Tony, my stepdad, he got a job opportunity to move to Wilmington, and he got bumped up to district manager. So he was going to handle like majority of, North Carolina, like all the way to like New Bern, like, I mean, all over. Right. So it was either you go work full time, you go get an apartment and, start your life now, or you can move with us and just go to school. Cause all my mom wanted me to do was go to school, get that piece of paper. The only challenge with that was I didn't really care about school. So I moved out to Wilmington because obviously, I graduated at 17. I turned 18 in July, and I think I moved December of 2017. So that spring I had applied, started going to Cape Fear, and honestly, I was just kind of going through the motions. Like, it wasn't really for me. I was going just because like my mom was like, get up, got to go to class. And I was like 18 years old. My mom's like, you need to go to class. And I just didn't have a drive to me. But yeah, I've been here ever since doing my own thing. I worked in a restaurant forever too. So,
yep. So you went to Cape Fear, was taking classes. You didn't really care about them. You're working in restaurants along the way.
Slaving in restaurants.
Yeah.
A lot of late nights.
And then how long was that stint before you, because I know you were friends with Tucker, you lived with him for a little bit. How long was that stint before you heard about Aptive and came out with us?
It's actually a funny story. So yeah, I remember going to like class. Me and Tuck, we had been friends, hung out, went to class. I loved the dude. And, I think it was like biology we had at one point, and it made a lot of memories. But long story short, I remember going to class. That took about like a year and a half. I was maybe like a semester off from getting my associate's degree. I had like 7 or 8 credits left, and I kind of just was like, yeah, I'm good. But I remember coming back from class one day, and I don't know if me and Tucker went and played like pickup basketball. We used to go to a place called First Pres, and it's like an old church downtown Wilmington, and it was like underground. We used to just get up shots, go play basketball and pick up. And I remember coming back to the apartment me and him stayed at, which was the Annex, really cool spot at the time, had a pool and all that. But I remember coming back from class, and Jack Sortolini, his brother, was there, and he was like on the couch, and I'm coming back from class. I'm just like, sup, dude? Like, how you doing, bro? Like, make yourself at home, Tucker was too. And he had told us that he wanted to like mention like an opportunity that he had, and how he just went out, came back from Chicago, graduated school, and like he made like $20,000, something like that. And at the time, I'm like working at restaurants. I'm like, if I make $200 a night, bro, I'm like breaded. Like, I'm good. And I was just like, that money's kind of unheard of. And I was kind of like, I won't say skeptical, but I was just like, what's the catch?
Right.
You know what I mean? But he eventually sat down, talked to us, and he wanted to bring on Tucker. Obviously, it's his brother. And he was like, I think Tuck would kill it and everything. But then Tucker, he's a sweetheart, bro. He looked at me and he's like, bro, I think you would kill it too. I think Mason would do good because I have the gift of gab. My mom's always told me I could talk. But, I talked to him. And again, I was a little iffy. Mentioned it to my parents. And I was just like, I don't know. It just feels like one of those schemy things. Like, I don't know. And then I actually met you. And that's whenever we went to that Chipotle. And within me meeting you, 45 minutes later, I was signed for Aptive. So that's about how it worked. You got me a free bowl, though. So thanks.
Yeah, man. You still owe me. Yeah, I'll cash that in sometime.
Heard that.
But yeah, so yeah, you sign. We take you guys out to Utah before you ever knock a door, which I think was cool for your buy-in.
So dope.
You got to see our headquarters and everything like that. So that was awesome. Okay, then first year you go out and what'd you put up in Rev? How was your first year, if you had to describe it?
I would say weird. Like, it was cool. It was fun. It is like one of the best memories I have, like a really good year. So one of my best friends, Samuel Bell, I brought him on as well because Tucker brought me on, and Sam got to go to Utah too. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And I remembered, just committing because I was like, bro, if we're going to do this job, like if we're going to actually like full send it, go knock some doors, like, bro, we got to go all in. Can't like half-ass this, you know what I mean? So we packed up our stuff, and I remember that's when I had the Tacoma, Tamika. Yeah. And packed that thing up, drove 17 hours all the way to St. Louis, Missouri. And I still didn't even entail that I was going to be like literally walking door to door. I was just like, I bought in. Robbie's got a vision for me. Like, let's just do it. I trusted you. So went out there, knocked like crazy. And I think my first year was like 206, 208 in revenue.
Yeah.
I think it's like
A little over
208.
200K.
Yeah, a little over 200K. And I think it was like 280 service. So what is that, like a 750 contract value, something like that?
Something like that.
So not bad. Very good experience though. It's very good. St. Louis is kind of surreal. I don't know if I would live there, but no, it was a really good time. A lot of
What were
memories.
if you could say your biggest like takeaways, learning experiences, ups and downs from year one? Because 208K is an awesome rookie year. Most people don't do that, and it's more than I did. It's more than 95% of people that do this job. And it's
Yeah.
more than they'll do in their rookie year. So, you're a really talented salesman. We live together, right? So we have that experience and that
Yeah.
bond. So, what were your ups and downs? What'd you learn about yourself? What'd you learn about this, your rookie year?
I could dive so far into that question. Yeah, no, honestly, my first year, the best way I can say it is I had to grow up. I feel like I was still in like the mentality of like, sweetie, get up, you need to go to class. Like I was still in the mentality of like, what do I want out of life? I was just like, oh, this is cool money. I'm told I can make this money, but I'm going to go out and like, I just knew knock doors. Complacency was a really hard thing for me. And obviously, because you're my roommate, you're up at like 6:30 in the morning again, like gone. And I'm like 8 o'clock, like drooling, folded on the bed. But I feel like I learned a lot about myself because being out there, whenever you're in the street, let alone as like a fresh 21-year-old, like you finally get a legal drink. But with that, like I'm out in a neighborhood in St. Louis, like, yeah, get a real job, go do this and that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like calling my mom, don't know what to do. It's like me and the Lord up there. Like, I mean, it's nobody but me. But, sticking my head down the whole entire summer, I mean, I give credit to you. I give credit to Jack, that whole team, like Ryan, Sabo, Rich, like all these guys, bro. It was like the best culture I could ever ask for. And I think being around a group like that, I think it really just elevated me way past like being on a sports team in high school or like going to like win a game or something. It was like, no, we're going to like win the year. We're going to win the summer. We're going to separate ourselves and actually become like men. You know what I mean? And yeah, you and Jack allowed that to happen. So thank you.
Yeah, bro. It's a great year. It's a great team, great group of people. So you go out there as a 21-year-old, right? You put up a little over 200K in revenue.
Yep.
Make around 50 grand or so, right?
I think it was like 56, 54, something like that. Yeah. Something like that.
It's crazy.
I didn't know how to act. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was rich. Yeah.
Yeah. It's dope. I mean, you are compared to other 21-year-olds at that point. Okay, then going into year two, right? So year two was DC with Jack and the boys. Learning experiences.
Tough.
What happened in year two?
Year two is a really big learning curve too. And I don't know if it was almost like the arrogance of coming off of like a hot first year as a rookie. I was just kind of like, oh, I got this in the bag, dude. I'm about to go sling 500 accounts. Like I'm locked, right? I get up to DC, bro, and it is like the most saturated, tough market I think I've been in. Because when you go up to a door and you're like, hey, I'll be super quick. And they're like, bro, you're the 8th guy here. Like, I'm good, buddy. And they're like slamming doors. I'm like, what do I do now? Like, it's just kind of like, oh God, stun. But DC was really fun. I give so much credit to Jack for that summer, dude. He put up with so much, lost a lot of sleep, dealt with a lot of headaches. I mean, it was a tough summer. But with that, we had a group of solid guys. Again, it was hard for me to put up rev. I think I only put up like right at 80K in revenue halfway through the summer. And I was working like half days. I complained a lot. Like, I mean, it was just anything that could not really go right, didn't go right, if that makes sense. But then we jumped ship and we went up to Long Island where you guys were selling at. And I was still able to finish out at 150K. I still hit team leader, but that was definitely a tough year. That was really hard. Didn't really see much of a pay jump. I think then I made like around like 70 something, 80,000. So not bad money, but it's just when you have really high expectations like that, then you just kind of get shot in the foot like halfway through the summer. It's like, dude, oh gosh, burnout was just hitting me like hard. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I said this talking to Sebastian as well. I mean, every hero's got their story, right? Every hero's got like their valley in the story and whatever kind of story or journey that they're on. And to me, I feel like for you, year two was definitely like the the clamp, like that was like the forge where you were kind of like forged in the fire.
Oh, it was rock
right?
bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of things changed. Like, we tested our relationship sometimes, right? Like we
sure.
went back and forth, right? But I think what's cool is you came out on the other side of that. And I think for everyone listening, like, in any career, like if you want to do something great, if you're starting a business, right? If you're a banker and you're going to go try to be like a good investment banker, like a hedge fund manager, if you're in door to door, which I think is the best, but if you're in door to door, right? Like you're going to have that time or that year where you feel like you hit absolute rock bottom. Like you're going to have that.
Yeah.
If you don't find that, you're probably not doing it right. Like if you don't find that, you're comfortable, right? The guys who crush it and girls who crush it in the business world, and in my opinion, from like every story that I've heard, there's always going to be a time when you feel like, damn, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, is this right? Because this doesn't seem right. This doesn't feel right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But what's cool is you push through to the other side of that. So now you're going into year 3. Along the way too, by the way, Mason's been, at least partially responsible for building up a downline as well, which is pretty cool, right? So your connections has grown Omega as we know it a ton, right? And we owe that to you as well through your connections and what you've been able to do there, which is awesome.
Thank you.
But along the way, again, you're building up a downline that's doing millions of dollars in revenue as well, which is cool. But you bounce back from year 2, right? And we go into year 3, which is this past year, and you go right back to the same city,
same market
that kind of beat you up in year 2, right? And talk a little bit about that and the redemption story a little bit and what you put up this past year and how that went.
For sure. I actually beat that market up this year, so I had to have my get back, if that makes sense. Went back. We're a little more like southern part. So anyone that knows Virginia, you have like Nova, Northern Virginia. It's like Fairfax, Burke, Arlington, Alexandria, and it's like saturated. A lot of old money, a lot of like high income neighborhoods and people who are like well known. A lot of people that work at the Pentagon, a lot of 9-to-5s. And if you do door to door, I mean, that definitely plays a role whenever you're knocking midday, because a lot of the decision makers or homeowners are just not home. Going back into it, I just had a mentality of like, there's people that have done it. Damon's worked there. Donnie's worked there. Like a lot of great leaders have actually like found a lot of success out of DC. Brandon Bailey, who trained me how to just hard close the mess out of people. Like he had like 700, 600, some of it. Like, dude, he was popping off. So I was like, if these guys can do it, like, why can't I? So with me, obviously, I still work kind of like a grit schedule this past year, and I don't know if that was best for the team, but with me, I worked a lot of half days. Going out, I just knew it was going to be a switch over heavy market. I knew, you're not really going to sell that many laydowns. You're not going to sell that many people who are just like, oh, we need a bug guy. Oh, please, we have ants everywhere. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I go and I know like a lot of companies are the best, this and that. I think Aptive's the best. If you do a lot of research, you look around, like nothing against Hawks, Moxie, EcoShield's great. Like a lot of these companies are good, they're valid, but I just feel like Aptive has so much to offer. And I think it's the culture that I've been around as well. I'm fully bought in and I believed it. So going out, I went from, first year right over 200K, second year, tough year, still hit 150K, but still not what I wanted. This past year, I did right under 300K. So we did bounce areas. We went to Greensboro for a little bit, which is cool because I got to come back to North Carolina for a little bit. But I think I did like 225-ish K in revenue. And that was from, say, like mid-May to like mid-July-ish, something like that. So, I mean, I was banging out revenue, maybe a little bit longer than that. I was doing like 75, 80K months. And I think what really helped me also was being in DC and knowing the year past, seeing people that have all this money. I was just like, dude, y'all can pay for my pest control, bro. Like, I promise you can. So I bumped up my contract value from like my rookie year, and then like my second year, we brought back mosquitoes. So right there's a quick 300 on contract. So with me, I averaged 1,100 contract value, and I just felt like it allowed me to like really just retain my revenue and sell a lot more higher contracts. And since I was so bought in, people just believed my service. They knew exactly what I was offering because like they were buying from me. They weren't buying because like, oh, I work for the best pest control company. I was just so just goofy, smiley, and just like in your face, like I'm the bug guy. And people were just like, all right, dude, like, what's the catch? And I'm like, nothing, it's $99. What's your last name? Like, just closing people. But I definitely think this second year was a lot more of like a flow state for me. Less mental battle, a lot more clarity. Didn't really drink, ate more healthier. And I think the one thing that really allowed me to like elevate to the next level was I focused on my health. So every morning, I worked out. I worked out like crazy. The dieting, eating like crazy. I actually tried to bulk over the summer and I put on some size, but I was eating like pound of ground beef or like turkey, Uncle Ben's rice, maybe 3 over easy eggs, hot sauce, and like an avocado. Like that's only what I ate. Sundays, I splurged and I would have like a chicken salad croissant. But like that was my cheat meal. So like I was really locked in, but definitely like health and just having more of like a positive mindset going into there instead of like, oh God, we're going back. Like I genuinely feel like that helped me succeed a lot more, for sure.
Yeah. So stepping up your routine, stepping up your focus, like you said, I think one of the things, and we'll talk about this in a second, but one of the things you probably left on the table most is the hours. Like we can increase the hours, and that's something that we're definitely going to increase, year 3 to year 4 to get the revenue up. But that being said, and less hours and kind of a shorter amount of time, you put up, double the revenue, which is cool. Like you said, largely because of the routine and the mindset. One thing that I want to talk about a little bit too is, what's your advice to people that are going into a market where there could be a stigma about it, right? Like, oh, it's really competitive, or oh, it's hot, or oh, like, the contract value is not as low, or the retention's lower, or oh, they get knocked all the time, whatever it is, right? Because you had an experience where you went to a market that was very saturated, very knocked, right?
Yeah.
And that became like a thing on the team, right? That became like it's kind of almost impossible. It's hard to sell because of this, right?
For sure.
Whereas the next year, you focus a lot more on yourself, your routine, your inner self, your health, and then you go out there and you crush it, right? In a shorter amount of time. So I think to me that speaks that, every market is different, but there's no better or worse market. I really firmly believe that every market is different for sure.
Oh yeah.
And if you treat one market like another and you think it's going to be like that one, then it could seem worse. But it's not worse. It's just you have to handle it differently, right? So what are some things that you did with your pitch, for example? Because we did some things with our approach this year, right? What are some things that you did with your pitch to adapt to a very saturated market? And how does that speak to every market's different? There's really no better or worse.
Well, I'll hit on the first part. Honestly, I feel like there's always going to be a stigma behind a market. I feel like people are always going to think, oh, dude, whether it's retention or it's like switch over heavy or like, oh, it just got knocked. Like you can put all these negative thoughts in your head. It's just like going to run like miles on end and you get to mile 2 and you're like, dude, I just want to quit. Like it's that same little inner bitch voice. I'll say it. That just kind of, okay, cool. That just kind of like shuts you down. I feel like going into any market, if you just have a fresh mentality and just know that like these markets have been open for some time now and there's people who have found success in these markets. So you can either like fold under pressure, you can like get how I did year 2 and you're just like, oh man, it's just terrible. Like, please throw me a bone, but it's not going to happen. You're just not going to make the money you want to make. So with me, I think going into my, this third year, especially my approach was what really helped me. I'm glad that you brought that up. I did something called what I call like a bandwagon approach. So instead of going up and I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm the bug guy. It's dirt cheap. You know what I mean? I was just kind of like, hey, don't worry. I'm not like all these knuckleheads out here. Like, I know you just got knocked. I promise I'm not annoying. Did you talk to the kid in like the blue shirt? Okay. Yeah, everyone is like, okay, like I've heard about it. Believe me, he sucks. But with me, I'm wrapping up with John. Don't worry again. I'm not like him, but I do pest control. Don't shoot away yet. I promise I'll be quick. But I know you probably have a company. Your house is like gorgeous out here. Who'd you guys happen to go with? And I just kind of opened the floor up to them and I just let them speak because people love to be heard. So I let people open up and talk about it. And then I'm just kind of like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Well, the cool thing about me, and like I would just throw little jabs in. I would add my pitch in here and there. And I think instead of trying to pitch people and go over like, oh, it needs to be a normal pitch. Oh, it needs to be a switchover pitch. It was just kind of like a conversation for me. Like how I'm talking with you right now is how I talk to people in the doors. And I feel like people resonate really well with me because they're like, okay, I feel like he's trying to help me, not sell me. And just allowed me to make more money in the end goal. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's that's definitely something. It's funny to us, like me and Jack and other people, like other leaders. It's funny because I want people to learn from you because you're a great salesman.
Thanks.
Sometimes it's hard to replicate though, right? And we
Yeah.
we know that, right? So it's hard to replicate if you're just kind of having conversation with people. But I think the principles stand, right? You want to get good enough at your pitch. And the reason that you can do that is because you know the pitch so well. You've done it for years now, right?
Yeah.
The reason that you could go off the rails and bring it back and get to a close is because it's just second nature to you now. Like you understand and you know what you're doing. You know how to get back to the agreement. You know how to close people. So
Yeah.
um,
I feel like I feel like it's a game. Like you can try and like sell people, but the more you think about selling people, you're just gonna get in your head out of area. You're gonna be out there, you're gonna knock for 2 hours, 3 hours, and you're just like, oh my gosh, dude, why can't I get a sell right now? Instead, it's like if you just go have like a valid conversation with somebody, ask someone how their day is going, and like get someone to open up with you. I promise people are a lot more inclined to buy pest control from you because, like, yeah, I know the pitch, like obviously, but I'm not like, oh man, let me make sure I like smile and head nod on this one. Like I don't think about that stuff. Like I'm thinking about like, cool, if you have something I can benefit you with, I'm gonna give you a feature and I'm gonna close the dog shit out of you. That's how it works. If you give me any type of like ammo, I'm going to use that against you and I'm gonna close the shit out of you. And I just see it as like I'm gonna spend the money better than you are. So please go get that credit card. I'll also grab a water. This works.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's huge. I mean, finding the benefit that really speaks to them and then closing on it. That's a principle that we'll do whole trainings on and everything too. But that's huge. That's huge. And everyone's got different styles too. There's guys that really see it as like a science and they're going to stick to the same thing. I'm more like that. I like to see it as a science and I like to stick to the same thing every time. Some guys are a little more conversational like yourself. But this isn't a sales training, but hey, the most important part is the close, right? That's really what it comes down to. Because you could be you could be another guy. Like I feel like maybe like Zach Seeger or some of the Jake West. Those guys probably have a little bit more of like a tailored like pitch approach to it.
Oh yeah.
You guys both have to close them though. You have to close them. You have to get to the agreement. You have to focus on a hot button and get them to sign. So
even when I train my reps, it's not about like, yeah, you're gonna get approach, price, service down. Like you're gonna learn the script, but like at the end of the day, like you're not actually getting towards a sell until you get that first close out.
Right.
Because I promise they're going to tell you yes or no right there.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. That's great training. We're going to have to take your reps and give them a little more script, right? And then they're going to be able to figure it out.
They could dabble in
You
it.
had to learn the script first though. You remember that, right? So
I did. Yeah.
everybody remembers the script first and then you kind of make it your own or make it more or less conversational, but for sure. Okay. So, hey, year 3, you step out, put up about 300K in revenue, right? Your downline finishes at what?
It was like right at 2 mil. I got a plaque for it, so I'm just gonna say 2 mil. But
Let's say 2 million round.
yeah.
Okay. So great year, successful year, right? With bonuses and everything, pulling in around $200,000, right?
Yeah.
Which you're 24.
4.
There you go.
Yeah.
24 years old, making around $200,000. You get to travel the world for free a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
You get to go to Utah. Obviously, you have a great group developing around you too, and you're entering into a role more and more as a manager and a leader, which is awesome. So first of all, that's a blessing, right? I mean, I think it's probably 98% of people in the United States will never be able to say they make that much money ever.
Yeah.
And to be able to say that you did it at 24, I know you have big goals for yourself. I know you're never satisfied, but congrats. That's huge.
Thanks, bro.
It's impressive. Got a nice little car. I know you like to put the keys out there. You want us to see that. So
Yeah, you can peep it.
any car fans out there, Mason drives an RS7, which is not a bad whip.
No, it's not bad at all. I've wanted it for about
You really
4 or
like
5
Audis.
years. Yeah, I think my old one really sold me on it. And for those who don't know, I did buy Robbie's mom's old car.
Yeah.
It was a Audi A7 garage kept, mint condition.
That was after your rookie year, right?
After my first year, I bought an Audi. Yeah, felt
Yeah.
good. But
Those A7s are nice.
A7's fire, but mine's got massaging seats in it. That's hard to beat. And
A little faster than the A7 too.
It gets scary fast. Yeah, it's weird. Shouldn't be that fast. And I think the main reason why I bought it also, well, first I was just like, dude, I want this car. I grew up playing like Need for Speed and Forza, and I'm like, dude, this shit is fire. But then I got into it and started like getting into like the business realm of things and like working with you guys and getting into like LLCs and like writing off things on taxes. And the car is a perfect tax write off. So it's like, I have a race car that gives me back rubs, and I can also get money back at the end of the year for it. So it's kind of a cheat code. I love it.
Sexy whip, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Sexy whip. I love it.
I like your Tesla too.
Yeah. It's quieter.
Faster. It's weird. Yeah.
It's definitely weird.
Yeah.
We still got to take those things out of the track. It's gonna be a funny video.
It'd be weird.
All right. So now you got your RS7. You bought a house too last year.
That was after my second year. So even after my my quote unquote like dog year of just like getting, it was not a good year. But yeah, I had a little bit of money saved over, and just off of like a back end or two, I had like an extra like, I don't know, 25 racks sitting around. And I was like, dude, I just need to buy a house. I just need to do that because all my buddies, they're either like, and people I grew up with, they're either like living with their parents, or they're like trying to move out to an apartment, or like begging their parents for $1. So like I was just like, I need to like get out in the real world. I need to start like making a mortgage payment, get some equity, get something like established in my name. So went ahead and bit the bullet and did that. So now next, like I got the car, got a house I'm staying in. I just need to get some rentals now. That's it.
Yeah. So 24 years old, driving the car of a lot of middle-aged men's dreams, living in a nice townhome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking into rentals. Yeah. And this year will definitely allow you to get into that if you hit your goals, right? So, yeah, what's next? So 2024 summer is right around the corner. What are your sights set on?
It is loading. It is. So all of my buddies and like a lot of the top hitters in this company, they're all shooting for like golden doors, and like, I mean, I'll be transparent. There's no doubt in my mind if I went like mentally insane for a summer and I just locked in and cut everything out, I could hit a golden door. I could lock in and do it. But this year, I think, in the past, I focused so much more on like my own like personal sales and focus on just myself. And you mentioned that I do have like a downline and like established group of like awesome studs, like dudes around me that are just building and building. So I feel like I want to take a little bit of time and almost like get back to that. Like, I don't want to say like, I want to give thanks, like it's not Thanksgiving, but my thing is all these guys who have been like working their ass off and putting in time, like while I'm just sitting here like knocking doors, I want to be able to allow people to do that as well. So bringing on my brother, for instance, bringing on like two of my best friends, Sam's coming back. Like it's going to be a cool year. My goal right now is set on 500K in service revenue. I want my downline to do around $5 million-ish. So division will be in the bag. But total earnings, I want to try and clear 450, 500K this year. I want to try and make $500,000. That's my goal at 25.
It's huge.
Huge.
Absolutely huge. Even 99.9% of people will never say that they can make that, right? So that,
in a summer,
that pops up, right? That's huge. So one thing I'm curious about is like, okay, so you said rentals. I know that's one of your goals. Why do you want to go produce 500K in revenue and try to make $400,000 or $500,000 and go out there and push it this year when you could settle, right? You could go have the same summer. You could go put 150K. You have a big downline. You could settle with your house and your car. You could make good money this year. You could be chilling. Why push? Why do you want to go hard this year?
Just like, it's one of those things that like, I know money doesn't buy happiness, but like, I don't think they really know where to shop at. I think with me, I'm more so in the focus of like, yeah, the cool things are going to come. I want a Ferrari one day. I want to be able to have like a big 10,000 square foot house, people manicuring my yard. Like I want to be able to have big things when I get older, but all that'll come if I just stick to the process. God's got a plan for me. And I think the biggest thing with me, going out and focusing on making sure my guys have good years too, and going out and making sure like my guys produce as well, it's going to allow me to keep elevating too. But the cool thing is if they win, I win, we all win. We're all making money. The reason why I want rentals and like my focus and everything, one, passive income's cool. If you can just get a check in, also gain equity and something towards your name, like you're winning at life. But I want to be able to be like, I think the best wording I can put it is a reliable man. So when I get older, I'm more so focused on like being a good husband one day. I want to be like the son that made it for my parents. I don't want to be their savior for any means, but like I want to be the kid that like separated himself and like made a name for my last name. I want to be able to like go out and like make sure that like my son knows that he's up, he's good. Obviously he'll have to work. I'm going to put him through some dog years too, but like he'll be set. You know what I mean? Have some trust fund babies, let him get made fun of for it. Like, that's the end goal, man. But I'm really focused on the long-term picture and like just growing up and establishing myself. So that way, like one day when my parents need me, or like if my wife ever needs me, like I'm there without a doubt. And I don't have to go like, shoot, oh, I got work in 30 minutes. Oh, I got to go clock in. Like, dude, screw that. Like, no, I want to be able to sit back, kick my feet up and like, yeah, I'm taking the week off. You want to go back to South Africa? Cool. Let's go book a flight. Like, that's the energy I'm on. And I just want to elevate myself to where I'm not stuck in the same loop as everyone else. And I have the financial freedom to just like bounce if I need to. Go do what I never, like, whatever I want to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's where you and I are similar. You know, that's kind of one of the reasons we do this. We have that vision, you know, and I think a lot of guys, like, it's interesting because this is proven time and time again, going to knock doors, working door to door. I mean, I'm obviously biased towards Aptive. Come work for Aptive if you want to knock door to door or the NFL. It's there, right? Like, again, I always say this. I'll say this time and time again on this podcast. You can start a business, a tech business nowadays, probably something where you're marketing and selling something on Instagram, or you're developing a new product that you can patent or whatever, right? You do that, or you go work in like private equity or for like a hedge fund or for like a bank. And if you're one of the top X%, small percent in that field, you can make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 maybe someday, $1 million maybe someday, right? Or
You're
maybe
not guaranteed that.
No, you're not guaranteed that. And you also have to be a C-suite executive to make that kind of money. You're not going to just make that money right out of school. Okay. So that takes years and years and years of 80, 90, 100 hours a week, right?
For sure.
Or you don't need shit. You need a high school education, if that, not even, right? You just need to not be like an active felon, right? And you can start and step out and knock doors, right? And it's just mind-boggling to me. It's just funny. It's over the years it's developed where I used to get kind of like annoyed at people who would be like, oh yeah, Aptive, pyramid scheme, all that stuff. I used to get like annoyed. Now it's just funny to me. It's like,
it's hilarious.
I'm like, I wish everybody, I hope that's kind of one of the goals of these conversations, in my opinion, is that everybody knows, hey, look, you know, you don't have to do it, and it might not be the right fit for you. But I just think it's so cool. Hey, someone like yourself, you didn't finish your associates, right?
College dropout.
Right?
Community college dropout.
Community college dropout.
Even worse,
right?
Yeah.
Who can step out and in their 4th year with a company is poised and set. You know, it's not guaranteed. This is something that we'll see. Yeah. But it's poised to potentially make $400,000 or $500,000 in your 4th year with a company.
That's unheard of.
I don't know. I know for a fact that almost 0% of other places that I've ever heard of that's possible. Almost zero. Right?
Yeah, no.
And the only other place that you could even do that, like I said, is if you started a business and had a ton of value and you sold it. So if you had like a successful exit or something like that.
Or if you go put your life savings down on blackjack.
Right.
Or roulette. Yeah, like it's just not happening.
Yeah, probably not going to happen. Yeah.
It could.
Yeah.
Might have to try.
Yeah, you're more likely with us for sure, though, to make that kind of money. So,
oh, yeah.
I just think it's funny. And like, you know, you can probably speak on this too, but it's just, I have so many people in my life from before that I just wish they'd kind of see it. And like, it like almost hurts me to see how complacent some people get with just the, you know, stick at home with their girlfriend and their dog. And they get like, oh, well, I can't leave my family and do all that.
Screw
and, you know,
that.
I've got that. It's like, dude, do you not see that? Hey, you take 5-10 years of your life, like every successful person that you've ever seen that you like look up to, that are on a podcast or that are on TV or whatever, like they all had their time where they were grinding
And no one saw it.
and nobody saw it, right?
Nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it. It's like Jeff Bezos, right? He's got Amazon. Like, do you know that guy's life was probably so hellish for such a long time?
He probably hated his life.
Just working, just nose to the grindstone, just unbelievable time sacrifice. Elon Musk, do you know how much that guy works? Everyone shits on that guy, right? He's probably worked more than anybody for like the longest period of time.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it's like, if you want the reward, you have to have an equivalent sacrifice. So I just think it's cool to see someone like yourself. It's not like you came from a big reputable 4-year university. You don't have a sales degree. You didn't do any sales before besides a restaurant, and you're able to step out and make really good money in this career. So I think it's dope.
I do too. I really do. Yeah, no, I don't understand the stigma behind it. People, like, the whole pyramid scheme thing is funny to me. Like, I used to be like, dude, no, it's not. Like, I'd get defensive, but dude, I'm like, I have people that hit me up now that think like I fell off, and I'm just like, bro, you have no clue. Like, I'm straight chilling. Like, and it's not like a shot to throw in anybody's face, nothing like that. But it's like, you know, a lot of the times when people were skeptical and questioning, like, why are you knocking doors and all that pyramid, this and that, I'm going to be transparent with everybody. Everything you do in life is going to be a pyramid scheme. Everything that you do, there's going to be levels to it, and there's going to be someone sitting on his ass up top, and he's going to be making the majority of the money. But that's not even how this is. So with this, everyone works. You look at like me, for instance, you, like Jack, like all these people, and even like Damon, like, yeah, Damon's in a position, he's done his time knocking and all that, but it's like the amount of dog hours that we're putting in and working, like each summer, it's not like, oh, we can chill now. You want to go to Bora Bora and like let our team work? No, we're knocking doors too. If you're in a neighborhood like, dude, today was rough, I'm like, yeah, I was getting railed on the street right next to you. Like, I get it, bro. But yeah, I feel like people see it as almost like a handout in a certain way, but it's like nobody really understands what fully goes into this job, not just physically, mentally, like it is draining on you. And I feel like this job's almost made me age from doing it. But, you know, in the long run, it's to each their own. But I couldn't imagine sitting around and just, you know, being complacent, being happy, and just be like, well, I'm going to pet my dog and eat the same food. Not like, dude, I'm trying to go eat like a gold flakes on a steak. I'm trying to like see different like cities, different countries. Like, I'm trying to like, I want to see the world. I want to see different walks of life. I want to like actually see what God has put on this planet for me. And I want to be able to explore every bit of it before I take my last breath.
Well said. I like that. Kind of moving into wrapping up here soon, but I'm curious. So we talked about your goal this year.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about what you've done in prior years. 500K from about 300 is still a big step, right? It's like kind of an equivalent step that you took from year 2 to year 3, right? So it's just a kind of the same step taken again, right? Which is huge. To step out and do 500K, to help your squad do 5 million by being a great example and being there and being available, answering calls, to go out there and perform like that this summer, right? And we'll know where we're going in the next week or so. So we're all excited about that. But, you know, we're going to figure that out. We're going to have the plan. We're going to have the plan as us leaders on our team. What are a couple of things that you're going to change that are going to improve your production, your focus? Like, what are you focused on changing for Mason that's going to take you to that next step in 2024?
Great question. I think the biggest thing going into year 4 that is really going to help separate myself from like the past years and all that, one, like, if anyone hasn't done like 75 hard, or like if you don't work out, like, I promise you're not going to have a good day unless you go do something physical. So I think not just like the physical working out aspect, do some resistance training, let out, whether it's anger, any emotion you have, let it out in the gym. Start your day off hard. Like, if your day is, you know, you wake up, roll out of bed, and like, I'm guilty sometimes too. You wake up, like, first thing I do, I'm on like Instagram Reels or TikTok, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's funny, ha ha ha. And I look and I wasted 30 minutes. If you can wake up and not look at your phone for the first like 45 minutes to an hour, Joey Rosen's like awesome at this, and he put me onto it. Get up and get active. Do something, get the hard out of the way, and just knock your day out. Like, Robbie, for instance, me, like, I don't like ice baths. I actually despise them. But whenever I do them, I feel great after. So it's like, I do that throughout the day. Like, I have energy. I'm more going, like, I'm not big on caffeine and all that. But like, working out really hard this summer, obviously sticking to like a good dieting, like a routine. But I think the number one key for me, not to sound cocky or arrogant, I have the sales ability. I don't need to work on my pitch. I don't need to go do that and this. I need to go work the hours. So I think if I go out there and I'm really just full headed like I was my rookie year, and it's just like, okay, 10 o'clock, oh, I need to be on the door right now. And then it's like 3 o'clock, okay, I get a lunch. Oh, wait, I need to get back out there. It's almost 4, like banging out, working till dark at night, like setting proper comebacks. Like, I feel like if I go out there and really apply myself for the maximum amount of hours I can with all the sunlight I can get in the day, I will hit my sales goals. And if I lead from the front, it's just going to allow all the people around me to just do it as well. And like, I don't really care if people beat me in revenue. I don't really care if people do under me. Like, I really don't. If you beat me in revenue, cool. Like, that's a shit ton of revenue, bro. Like, you're making a lot of money and I am too. Like, we're both winning. But I just feel like at the end of the day, with me really, like, not, I don't want to say not going full out for like a golden door, but me not going like just all gas and having a little bit of time to breathe and still putting up like $500,000 in revenue. It's going to allow me to actually take time on like Saturdays, Sundays, and like really break down if my guys are struggling, allowing like to do phone calls on Sunday. Obviously Sundays are like my laundry, my groceries, and I call my family, and I make sure mom is good, my dad's good. Like I'm always there on Sundays, but I want to be able to be there as like a leader for my guys as well. So if they really need a vent, they need to let something out, they have like, they want advice on anything, or like if they're really struggling with something, I know I have it in me to help them get back on track. And I want to be able to take responsibility for that, because at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, like if my guys are winning, I'm winning too. So I feel like it's gonna be a big year. For all the teams that we have in Omega, like there's so many studs. Like it's ridiculous how many studs we have in this organization, and I'm beyond blessed to work with them. I really am. So the only thing I can really think now is to keep bringing more in, because it changed my life, and if I can allow others to come in, it changes their life too. Why not? You know what I mean? But yeah, it don't really like matter where we're going this year. I don't really care about the market. They're gonna see $500,000 in it, so I'm psyched. I'm ready.
I'm excited to run it back. We've been on the same team in at least some capacity every year that we've worked together.
Yeah.
We didn't start every year together, but we've finished every year together. And me, you, Joey, Gavin, Drew, those guys that are multi-year experience reps, like we're gonna crush this year. I'm really excited to lead with you. I'm also, I feel blessed to be able to work with a guy like yourself and see the growth that you've had. I know going from year 3 to year 4 is going to be another step in that direction. So seeing you grow a ton, and I'm really proud of that for sure. So it's going to be a huge year. I know 2024 is going to be awesome, and we just got to keep doing what we're doing, get prepared, and I know you're going to rip 75 hard. You're going to finish around when?
What sucks, because I want to go on some snowboarding trips, but it's kind of like inconvenient. I should finish up like mid-March.
Okay.
Started January 1st, so whatever 75 days is of that, it should be mid-March.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully as soon as that's done, start knocking like the rust off the boots, and April through August, I'm gonna spank my goal out and just kick my feet up again.
There you go.
What are your goals though?
Yeah, I mean, for Omega, I want I have a moonshot goal of 20 million, and I want to at least land somewhere around 15. I think that's possible. Big growth, but like you said, we have all the pieces in place to do it. We have so many studs that work in our organization, and I'm really confident in you and other leaders that we have. So I know we can do it. If we have guys like you going out and hitting 500K, if we have the guys that have committed to do the 650 or 700K plus in revenue, to do the golden door, then I know it's going to happen. So if everyone lives up to their, that's the thing. If everyone lives up to their personal potential and goals, especially our leaders, all the rookies will follow, and we're all going to be winning, like you said. So definitely big goals for Omega this year, and I'm just going to do everything I can to help make it happen. So bro, I'm excited. We're going to figure out where we're going in the next week, keep doing what we're doing, and let's crush 2024 together.
Oh, we will. What I got one more question. What kind of revenue are you shooting for this year though? Because I know you're leading. What?
Yeah, I'm gonna do 300. Yeah,
solid.
Yeah,
so solid.
So it's not quite the 5 that you're going for, but I'll it's tempting to sit back and say, oh, this is year 6. I've got this big downline. We're gonna do 15 million, right? Like I'm gonna have some responsibilities, but honestly, I feel like the best way that I can lead is still just doing the thing, right? And if I'm gonna be out there with a team, I'm gonna sell, right? And I'm gonna go try to maximize my potential. Because if I'm out there, I could say that I have all these leadership management things to do, but if I'm gonna be out there with a team, I gotta sell. If I'm not gonna sell, then I gotta step back and give that role to somebody else. But I'm not ready to give that away yet. I'm excited to knock with you guys. I'm excited to be the guy in the morning meeting that's going to be right there with everybody. So our team's going to be dangerous this year. So everybody's got to watch out for our team.
Our team is gonna do some numbers.
Yeah,
heavy hitters. Yeah,
we're gonna be cup contenders. So I'm excited.
We should try and win it.
Yeah,
I said it first.
Yeah.
All
right, bro. Well, appreciate you sitting down with me.
Thanks,
let's have a great day, and let's keep up this momentum. All right.
Let's do it. Just gotta go get another workout in. That's it.
All right, bro.
All right, bro.